Sunny Hostin, who I think is on the dumbest show that airs daily anywhere in the country. She is a left-wing loon. Sunny Hostin on The View said that Caitlin Clark was, and I'm paraphrasing her because I don't have the exact quote, but that she was getting a lot of attention and she was popular because she's white, attractive, and straight. And Sunny Hostin said that's a big reason for her appeal, and then said the league is 70% black and there's a large percentage that is gay, and why don't we like our black lesbians as much as we do our white heterosexuals? And first of all, my thought was when I saw this, well, Brittany Griner broke the law in Russia and got out of prison because she's a black lesbian. Otherwise, she'd still be in prison. So somebody made a joke about this. I think I shared it. But if Caitlin Clark had gotten arrested in Russia, she might well still be in prison because she's a white heterosexual woman. But maybe things would be different for her because she's a woman. Maybe she would still get out. If you're a white dude and you don't even break the law, you're still in prison. Look at what's going on with Russia because people don't care about you because you're not high enough on the identity politics victimization card, even if you actually break the law. And I've made this analogy in the context of there's still 5 American hostages being held in Hamas. It's like nobody even mentions their names, and they did absolutely nothing wrong. They were kidnapped just because they're Jewish. They should have been black lesbian basketball players. They'd already be back. They would have never spent 7 months in Hamas captivity. So my thing with Sunny Hostin is this is not true, by and large. I think Caitlin Clark is very popular for the same reason that Steph Curry is very popular. I've talked about this for years. I coached Little League basketball, whatever you want to call it, young kid basketball over the years. All the kids want to be Steph Curry. They all start trying to make shots from way out on the court long before they are able to do so. And even in games that you watch now, kids will pull up and take shots that would have gotten you or me benched instantaneously back in the day. Steph Curry has changed the way that kids aspire to play basketball. And you see it all the time in high school NBA, whatever, or high school, college basketball. The number of guys that want to hit a step-back three to win a game still infuriates me. You can get a step-back three at any point of any possession. I want guys to drive to the basket. They don't want to do that anymore. They all want to be Steph Curry hitting the dagger three. Caitlin Clark plays the exact same way. Caitlin Clark plays basketball as a WNBA star, and before that at Iowa women's team, in the same way that Steph Curry plays basketball. I mean, just again, she is Steph Curry, the female version. Steph Curry's really popular. He's not the biggest, fastest, strongest guy in the NBA, but people feel attracted and attached to him because they can see themselves in him. Steph Curry's black. Caitlin Clark's race and her gender are not the reasons that she's popular. They had nothing to do with her becoming the NCAA scoring champion. In fact, regardless of what race Caitlin Clark was, regardless of her sexuality, she would still be employed in the WNBA. She could be the ugliest person on the planet. Her game still translates. Her race doesn't matter, okay? Can Sunny Hostin say the same thing? Sunny Hostin, to my knowledge, rarely, if ever, says anything smart. I do think she's pretty, and she's a minority. If Sunny Hostin were an ugly, fat white woman, she would have no media career whatsoever if she had the exact same opinions as she does now. Think about that. Sunny Hostin, you are an ugly, fat woman. You have no media career. Unlike Caitlin Clark, who, regardless of her race or her sexuality, would be employed in the WNBA. If Sunny Hostin wasn't pretty and a minority, she would have no media career whatsoever. If she were unattractive and white, there's a 0% chance she would be on The View. You would think someone of that ilk would be a little bit more knowledgeable. Now, I've been making jokes about this for a long time. Television, video, it's very cosmetic. I am not looking into this camera right now because many of you are like, Clay Travis is the best looking man on the planet. I didn't make a media career as a writer and a radio guy and a TV guy because of how I look. I'm okay looking. I'm accessibly normal, right? Basically that. I'm a 45-year-old dad, and I look like a 45-year-old dad. Somebody would be like, you look like a 65-year-old dad. You're ugly, and you're fat, and I hate you. And okay, well, I appreciate that. But whatever. I'm a pretty normal-looking dude. Sonny Hostin being totally unself-aware about the fact that she's criticizing a woman for her popularity based on her race and her attractiveness, and not recognizing that her own race and her own attractiveness is the reason she has a job, is so crazily lacking in self-awareness that there's no wonder she's on The View, which is, frankly, the least self-aware show on television. I'll also point out that it's just crazy to me that we could end up in a situation where women are tearing down other women's sports stars for things that have absolutely nothing at all to do with their actual on-court performance. We don't typically do this for men unless they do something that is involved in criminal behavior, right? No man out there is like, the only reason LeBron James is popular is because of his looks. I've never heard anybody say anything like this, or his race. There's zero doubt that being good looking can make you more popular than you otherwise might be, but the sports excellence has to matter. Tom Brady, really good looking dude. He's popular because he won 7 Super Bowls, though. Does it make him more popular that he's also incredibly good looking? Probably. But Peyton Manning is probably more beloved than Tom Brady, and he ain't a good looking dude. Sorry, Peyton, if you happen to watch this, no intended insults. He is a very average looking guy. People who are sports fans, men, care about the performance above all else. Now, look, I criticize LeBron James. Most of the criticism of LeBron James is for stupid stuff he says. I don't know that I've ever criticized how LeBron James looks. It would be a very weird thing to do. Men don't do that. Now, I think LeBron flops too much. I think he's a coach killer. I think he is profoundly insecure, and that translates into the way that he carries himself. Bottle of wine, courtside, watching the Cleveland Cavaliers play was probably the last time I talked about LeBron. But I'm not going to dispute that he's one of the 5 best basketball players of all time, maybe the second best, in my opinion, behind Michael Jordan. Women do this to women's athletes and then complain that women's athletes aren't treated as well by men. It's actually women that tend to tear down other women like Sonny Hostin just did there.